Good evening and welcome to Shelters to Shutters' first virtual event. I'm Andy Helmer, CEO of Shelters to Shutters, or S2S, and I'm excited to spend the next hour with you. Right away, I'd like to thank some individuals that made tonight possible. Our City Advisory Board members, those individuals from Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and the Washington, D.C. area. Thank you so much for all your efforts. Cheers. Can I be honest for a second? I'm gonna go off script. This is Kristen Fagley's worst nightmare, but I'm living a childhood dream of mine because with the earpiece, I kind of feel like I'm a Secret Service agent. So for that, I appreciate. And the great folks here at Creative Liquid actually refer to me as the on-air talent. And I can tell you, I've never been referred to as that. But I digress. We also wouldn't be here without our tremendous event sponsors. And here to kick us off is Greg Kashmanian from our presenting sponsor, Home Depot Pro.
Good evening. My name is Greg Kashmanian, and I'm the Director of Multifamily National Accounts at the Home Depot Pro. We're new to Shelters to Shutters, and with our friends from Buyers Access, we're thankful for the opportunity to be sponsoring partners and to explore ways where we can help in the future. Here's an example of a video that shares how Home Depot is helping our veteran heroes gain training and opportunities.
Transitioning out of the military is a very stressful time. I first learned about the Home Builders Institute about 4 months before I got out of the Army. Getting this education and knowledge, skills, and abilities cost-free to be able to help provide for your family or your future is wonderful. The supplies and material and expertise that Home Depot provides, HBI, is fantastic. I would not have been able to afford training like this out of pocket. In the 3 months of the course, I have 6 to 12 months worth of experience. Also, we graduated with an OSHA 10 construction certificate. Within 2 weeks of graduating, I was hired on as an assistant project manager for a multifamily property renovation company. 100% worth it, 100% glad I did it. It has been wonderful for me.
Special thanks to Andy and the entire Shelters to Shutters team for their commitment to end homelessness. We at the Home Depot thank you.
Thanks, Greg. We look forward to working with the home. Thanks, Greg. We look forward to working with the Home Depot Foundation and the Home Builders Institute to further opportunities for Shelters to Shutters candidates. I'd also like to thank our gold sponsors, Buyers Access, Inpro Corporation, Middleburg Communities, and Train Technologies, as well as our silver and bronze sponsors. We wouldn't be able to celebrate the transformation of our participants' lives without you. Now, before I introduce our MC for the evening, I want to introduce the hardworking leadership team of Shelters to Shutters. Look, 2020 has been crazy and it's been hectic. And not too long ago, the team and I took a day away from our day-to-day activities and had a little fun. Let's roll the clip. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce and welcome tonight's MC, Angie Goff. Angie has been reporting on the news in the Washington, D.C. area for more than 15 years. And, wait for it, soon as the anchor, or one of the anchors, of the evening news on Fox 5, so stay tuned. She's also the host and creator of the Oh My Golf Show, a hilarious and popular program that you can catch on YouTube or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Angie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Andy. I'm kind of bummed I wasn't invited to the little beach getaway with the crew. You guys are having a ball out there. Yeah. So, okay. He's doing a great job with his IFB. We might have to get him a job anchoring over at Fox 5 with us. We'll talk later about that. But first off, I just want to say hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you to Andy for the invitation. It is so great to be with you all tonight, to support S2S, an incredible organization that I've learned so much about in over the last month. And it's amazing to see the opportunities that this organization is offering to the individuals that are willing to work hard, the individuals that want that chance, the individuals that are performing beyond expectations, all because someone gave them that chance. And I love everything that this group is about when it comes to addressing situational homelessness. And even better than that, a lot of times we do here in Washington, we have a lot of charities and organizations and events that go on throughout the year. This year is a little different, but to find out that this real unique solution was created and founded by someone who literally, like, I can look out my window, like lives in my backyard here in Northern Virginia. We are honored tonight to have the founder, Chris Finley, who is the managing partner and CEO of Middleburg Communities, with us tonight. And we want to open the door and bring him on in for tonight's event. Chris, so good to see you.
Angie, thank you.
Glad you could be with us. One, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do and for creating this, really a blueprint for, I believe, communities all across the nation. I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to do this? Where did you get this idea? And going forward, how can the everyday person help follow through with your mission?
Sure. No, it's interesting. A number of years ago, the editor of a magazine called Blue Ridge Outdoors, a gentleman named Will Harlan, took it upon himself to try to better understand what homelessness meant in his own community. He subsequently wrote an article about his findings, and I read that article and was somewhat inspired. It was really very interesting. We all have this image of what homelessness is. We see people living under a bridge. We see them in little tent villages. They're panhandling. Many of these individuals are struggling with mental illness, chemical dependency issues, and that's what we see as homelessness. When I read Will's article in Blue Ridge Outdoors, it was really eye-opening because it explained how so many people, so many individuals had been employed. They wanted to work and they found themselves in unexpected circumstances and then were out on the street and trying to find a job and wanted to get back on their feet and wanted to get back to work. For me, that really kind of started a process of education. I frankly had no experience in this area, no knowledge of it, and so started doing research, trying to get in more information, and came to find that of the issue of homelessness in America, over 80% of people that struggle with homelessness are what we would characterize as situational homelessness. Those are people that have been employed, that are productive members of society who find themselves in an unfortunate circumstance. It could be a natural disaster, a medical situation for themselves or their family members, or even more recently, of course, as so many individuals and families are struggling with the challenges of this COVID pandemic. They find themselves in an uncharted territory. They lose their job, they lose their source of income, and they have, ultimately nowhere to go. And so when I realized that there are so many people out there that are struggling in this way, that they want to get back on their feet, they want to work, I realized that our industry was really well positioned to be able to come up with a creative private market solution to address this significant public issue. Within the apartment industry, it's very, we're always looking for qualified, loyal, hardworking, motivated employees. And part of our business model is to be able to provide discounted housing for the employees that are working at our properties. And so it just felt like, to me, this was a natural solution, a way for the apartment industry and the private industry in general to come together, create this industry initiative, and really try to take on this issue and create a meaningful difference. And I'm really pleased to say that it's amazing how this simple idea has just taken hold, and we've seen so much growth over the last few years. And even this event has been so positive that during these tough times during the pandemic, we've seen the team at Shelters to Shutters really come together. Our city advisory boards throughout the United States have come together to really create excitement, to keep the initiative moving forward, to really tackle this challenge. So we're super excited to be here and really appreciate everybody's participation.
Yeah, and the fact that you are growing and you are thriving during a time like this, I think it really speaks to the fact of what kind of organization this is and what kind of difference it's making. So once again, Chris Finley, thank you so much for all that you do. And we're looking forward to a great night tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And with that, even before 2020, there was a huge demand for the services that S2S provides. But as Chris just mentioned, COVID-19, that's just made that demand skyrocket. It's gone through the roof. And because of the unforeseen challenges that have been presented to so many people, everyday people, I mean, we're talking about just an unfortunate number of so many Americans that are dealing with food insecurity, that are dealing with job loss, or having their jobs downsized, housing insecurity, obviously, and just unforeseen struggles that have popped up on a day-to-day basis, childcare, things like that. We report, working in the news industry, this is something that we are reporting on a daily basis, and it is really only a sampling of the stories that come our way, because we're only allotted so much time. So we know that people are hurting out there and the need is great. Well, S2S has always worked with individuals one-on-one, individuals who have fallen on hard times, but have the abilities and the motivation to move forward and get back on their feet. They just simply need someone reaching out. They need that hand up. But rather than have me sit here and talk about it, I think it would just be so much better just to hear it straight from the individuals, the participants who have benefited the most from S2S, and also our S2S partners who really have made the success possible.
When I initially moved to Georgia, I moved here with expectations of being promoted on the job that I was on at the time. They had given me the impression that I was moving here and transferring here to take a promotion. When I got here, that was not the case. I had to make a decision for me and my family. And I left that job. It was hard, but I had to do what was best for us. Moving here, I was pretty much homeless, me and my family, and we were staying in hotels. I was actually referred to Shelters to Shutters by a program that I was going through called Must Ministries. Shelters to Shutters, they steered me in the right direction. They helped me critique my resume. I did a video cover letter, of course, especially during the pandemic and us not being able to actually do in-person interviews, to kind of give employers a better insight of me. Now I am working with a company called IRT Management as a leasing professional. We are an apartment community management company, and I love it. Me and my family struggle day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out to make it. And now I'm in a place that is my own. I'm a single dad, but I'm in a better place now than I've been in a long time. I have a furnished home for me and my daughter. We're no longer homeless, obviously. I'm working for a great company, through a great company, and I'm forever grateful for what Shelters to Shutters has provided me and my family, which is peace of mind. It's needed in the community because, especially here in Georgia, there is a lot of homelessness, there's a lot of unemployment. So if you are that person that's looking for a job and you have a great resume, but you just need a way to get your foot in somebody's door, Shelters to Shutters can help you do that. Between January and now, I am in a better position. I see myself eventually moving up with the company, IRT Management. I see myself maybe owning a home within the next couple of years. And I feel like it's only going to go up from here.
Thanks, Randy, for sharing his story. As Randy mentioned, he works with IRT Management, just one of our 45 industry partners that provide both housing and employment. And for us, Shelters to Shutters, those are really the two key pillars to put individuals back on the road to self-sufficiency. This year, for the first time, Shelters to Shutters put together a criteria for both an Industry Partner of the Year award and a Program Partner of the Year award. And I'm thrilled to announce that IRT Management, part of Independence Realty Trust, is our first ever Industry Partner of the Year. Not only does IRT management support the S2S candidates, but their employees are dedicated to the communities where they live and work. And that goes for the individuals at the property level all the way up through executive leadership. We're thrilled to be able to provide this award to IRT management. And now I'd like to kick it over to Fred Capel, Vice President of Human Resources, and some of his colleagues. Fred?
Thanks, Andy. Good evening. I'm here with my IRT colleagues, and we're excited to be here with you tonight.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Farrell Ender with Independence Realty Trust. I'm thrilled to be here with you tonight. IRT supports several nonprofit organizations that do a lot of good work, but Shelters to Shutters really hits home to us in the organization. As a company, we provide housing to approximately 25,000 people. Teaming up with S2S was a natural fit where we could provide our housing and employment to people in need. More importantly, it has allowed our employees to see firsthand and directly participate in the company's philanthropic efforts. It's easy to write a check, but to take the time and effort to be part of this program, I believe speaks volumes about how we as a company direct our philanthropy.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Bill Williamson, Director of Regional Operations with Independent Realty Trust. And just to hear the stories of the S2S placements in my region, to see them succeeding in their roles, to see their training and opportunities that they're receiving is incredible. And the most gratitude to me is they now have a place that they can call home.
Good evening. I'm Fred Capel with IRT. Ever since the beginning of our relationship with Shelters to Shutters, Andy Helmer and Scott Pitts and the entire team at S2S have been remarkable business partners. Whether it's discussing job fairs, vetting individual applicants, or simply discussing program strategy, their authentic and dependable feedback is unparalleled. The success of the program speaks volumes by itself, but the program representatives truly make this an incredible partnership for IRT.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Schaefer, Chairman and CEO of Independence Realty Trust. And on behalf of our company, we're honored to accept the Shelters to Shutters Industry Partner of the Year Award. As a housing company, we're encouraged and inspired by Shelters to Shutters initiatives and proudly join them on the path to defeat situational homelessness. We look forward to continuing our affiliation with such a great program in the years to come. Thank you.
Okay, big congrats to IRT, and also loved hearing that story from Randy. So inspirational. Before we go any further, though, let's talk a little business, some good business here. We want to remind everybody that we have the auctions that are up for bid. Have you taken a look at this list? I mean, we've got everything. And there's wine, there's golf, there's it looks like a beautiful refrigerator, David Yurman jewelry, Samsung, Trey Turner World Series photo. I mean, what is not on this list? Lego, Star Wars, something for everybody. Andy, I got to bring you in here. How can we take advantage of this? How do guests get in and go ahead and start bidding away so that they can walk away some winners tonight?
Well, first of all, Angie, I clearly had my Julia Roberts runaway bride moment, so didn't mean to dog you on camera here live. Clearly, your job is safe. But there's two ways to bid tonight. You can either text S, the number 2, S, to 76278, or you can go to s2s.givesmart.com to register, and then let's start the bidding. This is for a good cause. Come on.
I know. There's so many. By the way, that's the first time I've ever been ghosted during a virtual event. It was post and ghost with Andy. No, it was great. It was great. But I will say I do want to come back to the next beach party that you host. When we talk about the auction items here, okay, a lakefront home in Austin, Texas. Hello. All the jewelry that we saw there. I mentioned the David Yurman, but there's so much more. By the way, if you haven't gone out and got your holiday gifts yet, I know a lot of people are, they're not into going and shopping just yet with the pandemic and stuff. This is a great opportunity to go ahead and check that off the list. I mentioned there was toys, Legos, things for the kids. I love this. The fact that we have experiences on there, like this tumbling experience for your kids with a world-class gymnast over Zoom, AKA like childcare for an hour and some sanity for mom. I mean, how many of these can I buy?
Exactly.
And then there's premier auction items here. Let's see here. We have a few that we want to highlight. Bridgestone Arena Suite. Okay.
Yeah,
A
we're
trip
gonna
to
we're gonna get into
Mexico.
that in a little bit. Absolutely. Go Preds. You bet.
Oh my goodness. The list goes on. So, Puerto Vallarta, a week in the Outer Banks. We're going to have so much more to come on that. I don't know. Is this me or is my head on fire?
Well, I can tell you, if people, not the younger generation, but people my age certainly, if you remember the movie Broadcast News, I
yeah.
gotta be honest, these Klieg lights are they're getting a little toasty. So I might be wiping my brow. So I think if anybody's on fire, it's most likely me. But yeah, Puerto Vallarta, it's the presidential suite. I mean, that's fantastic. This isn't some run-of-the-mill, ordinary garden view room. This is ocean room presidential suite. So I gotta feel like there's somebody out there that wants to take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to get away right now? Before we go ahead and present the next award, though, I do want to share a story. And if you live in the Washington area, you've already seen her on TV. We want to introduce you to Kira, who is a single mother, a maintenance tech, and pretty much an overall rock star here in the DC area.
Absolutely. It's a great story.
I'm Kira Blackwell. I'm a mother. I have a 4-year-old. I'm from the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I was born and raised in the area. I really wanted to change my living situation. I was living in a crime-ridden area. It was shootings and a lot of stuff going on. And with a little boy, my son was like 2 at the time, I just really wanted a change for him. I was in this training program called SUM, and they offer building maintenance classes. And through that training program, I attended a job fair, which was hosted by Shelters to Shutters. I was nervous because this was my first maintenance job, and there were a lot of property managements there. Very professional, very informative, down to earth, easy to talk to. And that was calmed my nerves because everyone was so nice. And I finally got a call for an interview at this property with the Donaldson Group. I do maintenance. And I've been doing maintenance about 2 years. Working here with the Donaldson Group, they have continued education programs. I have obtained certifications while working here. My goal is to keep taking more classes, keep continuing education, learn more so that I can become a service manager. I won a Hero Award. Residents write in nice letters or good letters to corporate and to the office like that. As a property, we won an award for bringing the property back to life, basically. I would recommend Shelters to Shutters because they've just been so helpful in every way, from moving to job placement to helping with rental assistance, everything. The job and the apartment placement, it definitely put me and my family in a cleaner, healthier living situation. My hope for my son is to see that you could do anything that you put your mind to, and that with hard work, it always pays off.
Congrats, Kira, and all your success with the Donaldson Group. Look, these are exactly the type of people that we're helping, and not only are we changing their life, we're changing the entire trajectory of their family, whether it's a dependent or significant other or spouse. So for every person that we get hired and housed through this program, we average affecting 2.2 lives. So it's that kind of multiple that really helps us make an incredible difference in the communities that we serve. Now, I mentioned that we have a second award, and so I would like to at this point announce our first inaugural Program Partner of the Year, and our Program Partner of the Year winner is CORT. CORT is the nation's leading provider of transitional services. That includes furniture rental for home and office, destination services, apartment locating, touring, as well as other services. To date, Court has donated more than $100,000 in in-kind donations because for every S2S participant, we'll receive a home essentials kit. That's more than 120 items for their bedroom, their bathroom, and their kitchen, as well as requested furniture in some cases. This is taking just an ordinary place to live and turning it into a home to thrive. They're absolutely amazing, and we couldn't be more proud to present the 2020 Program Partner of the Year to Court. Here to accept the award from Court is Jeff Peterson, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Mike Davis, Chief Operating Officer. Gentlemen.
Good evening. In conjunction with all of our fine partners and team members throughout the U.S., we're honored and we're humbled to accept this award. At Court, our mission is everything is possible through service. And that's personified through this wonderful partnership. Mike?
I wanted to take a moment to talk about the individuals in our operations and our delivery teams that have the most interaction in this area. They have the opportunity in many cases to meet some of the individuals that are being helped. And in talking with them, it's amazing how they feel about it. You know, it's something that they go home and they tell their significant others about what they were doing. They tell their kids about it. The pride and the joy that they take in being part of something that's bigger than themselves and knowing that they are helping others in need is just amazing to see. It's a prideful group of people that work for us, but they take no more greater pride than when they're able to help somebody. And those people are actually there often, and they get to see the reaction. And I will tell you that when people talk about it, just the glow and the way that they look is amazing. So thank you, Shelter to Shutters, for all that you do. And we look forward to supporting this organization for years to come. And thank you for this honor.
Have a wonderful gala.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Mike and Jeff, for those inspiring words, and a huge congratulations to Court again for what you're doing from the inside out. Thanks so much. By the way, just need to throw this in here. Don't forget to text S2S to 76278. Got to get those auction bids in, okay? They're going on all night. We've got a lot of great items out there. Now, it is my pleasure to show you how these types of partnerships are really, really flourishing, and how S2S is truly making a difference in people's lives. Say hello to our friend Eugene from Nashville.
My name is Eugene Sanders. I work for the company called Freedom Rail. I'm a groundkeeper here, and I started my position, I believe, the 1st or 2nd of August. I relocated from Cleveland, Ohio to Nashville, Tennessee. I came down on a business deal. I suppose I started a business here. It failed. So I didn't want to go back to Cleveland because I had nothing to go back to, because I gave up my apartment, I gave up my job to come here. I was working at nights at the Tennessee building on Broadway. I was working there, and I was just stuck. I was just stuck. It was kind of rough. It was a rough moment. I've been involved with S2S for 2 years. Yeah, I heard about it from my counselor in the Salvation Army, and he asked me that I wanted to try the program out. And I said, okay, let me try it out. That's how I got the job. I got them through there. They interviewed me at the property I work at, and they wanted me, so I'm here. It's been a big blessing because Nashville is a hard place to make it in, really. You know, everything's so high here, and you have to know somebody, have connections to certain jobs. It's a good program. It's a good program, and it will get you to point A to point B if you let it work for you. Also, I have an apartment through S2S, so I'm living on site. When I moved to my apartment, Court, they've been a big blessing. They came out and they gave me a couch set. So I got some dishes and pots and pans and household utilities. Well, my hope for the future, like I said, I always wanted to be a business owner. I used to be a business owner, EGS Home Service in Cleveland, Ohio. So I wanted to start a business here. I want to get some more skills to add on to the business I'm doing. If you're having a hard time and you don't have no answers or trying to get on your feet, try the program. This is very important to support S2S because people are trying out here. Just because you are falling hard times, that don't mean you're on drugs or you did something. People fall on hard times. That's life. But don't be judgmental to that person because they fall on hard times. Because that person could be down one day and up the next day. And that person might be the one to help you back up. So that's the way I look at it. And people need help, they just need a helping hand. And S2S will give you that helping hand.
I really love how Eugene mentioned you never know if you're going to be the one day that needs a hand up, because in all reality, all of us need some help sometime. And the reality is that most Americans, a lot of us, as we've seen through COVID, we're just one financial challenge away from possibly being put out on the street and living on the streets, or finding ourselves seeking shelter or living in a shelter. It is the reality that we're living in. And what is so great about S2S, in addition to giving resources and giving jobs and giving a place to live and giving a new beginning, the work doesn't end there. I love the fact that the conversation, they're putting it out there, they're doing their part in trying to erase the stigma that's been attached to situational homelessness for way too long, and really doing their part to raise awareness. We cannot underestimate the power of that voice. So to help S2S with their mission to keep motivated people working and safe at home and prospering and giving back to our community, we got to raise some money tonight. We got to raise a lot of money tonight. And so we want to check back in with our friend Andy about the premier auction items that are on the block. Oh, we got a wardrobe change. The Emmy's got nothing on us.
That's right.
It's showing off now.
Yep. So, got to represent Nashville Predators. They made the Stanley Cup Finals in 2017, but I was on, the Bridgestone site, and let me just give you an idea of some of the acts that are coming to the Bridgestone Arena in 2021. Alan Jackson, Alabama, James Taylor, Rod Stewart. I actually thought he had passed away, but apparently not, so apologies, Rod. Alanis Morissette, Matchbox 20, and then not to mention the Predators, who are awesome. I mean, look at the logo, Saber-Tooth Tiger. It's amazing. So, look, we need your help. This is a suite for 20 with food and beverage for one of these things. So, this is worth almost $9,000 fair market value. Right now, we're at $5,000. You can still get a good deal and, bid that price up. And look, if you go over, don't worry, because, it's tax deductible for anything over the value. So come on, this is a win-win. This amazing arena, an amazing experience.
Yeah, value at $8,500. Not to mention, this is in Nashville, Tennessee, folks. I mean, my girl Dolly, I don't know if you can see her in the corner. She would be very, very upset if we didn't have a high bidder tonight. I mean, I might even, let's see here. I might even throw in my Dolly wig. This is one of my Dolly wigs. A little bit of a fan here. Actually, you probably don't want that. But, the $400, food and beverage, all those wonderful concerts. I mean, you're going to Tennessee, and you could always make a quick trip over to Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge to see my girl Dolly Parton over at Dollywood. It's a great state, a great place to visit, and it's just one of many premier auction items that we are offering up tonight. And I know, Andy, we're traveling. I cannot with you.
Look, Angie, I didn't want to run into a situation where I wasn't here. So look, the wardrobe change is a bit limited, but I did want to go into Puerto Vallarta. So look, January, February, March, April, average highs 80 to 83, average lows 60 to 64. Again, people, presidential suite. This isn't the Garden View. This is amazing. Let's get it done. Right now, the opening bid is $1,750. It's worth twice that. Let's go. You want to get away. We need a vacation. Come on. We can do better than this, for sure.
Yeah, if you are trying to think of what am I going to get my sweet honey bear, honey baby, for Christmas, I mean, you can't go wrong with this, right? It doesn't even need to be wrapped up. It's a awesome experience, and it looks like you can book obviously next year. 2021, 2022. And I mean, this kind of place, this is like what the movie Hangover, movies like that are made out of. This is going to be a good time. This is going to be a fabulous time. And Andy, when we talk about travel, that's not the only place you could go. Are you going to start? Are you going to drop a beat for me now? I feel like
for some reason, Outer Banks, I felt like hat on backwards and a pineapple Truly. This is apparently what all the kids are consuming. And look, I'm unabashedly, I enjoy a good Truly. Okay, people make fun of me, particularly my friends, but this just felt right. But let's look at this amazing spread. This is my friend Dave and Gian Flessis down at Outer Banks. It's got an indoor pool as well as an outdoor pool. So look, you don't have to limit yourself to just the hot months. You can go anytime. This has got 4 bedrooms that have king beds, 2 with queen beds, and then a bunk room. I think this sleeps like 100 people. It's got a private walkway to the beach. It's on the beach. This place is amazing. Again, this is opening bid was $5,000. I feel like we can do better than that. If for no other reason, I look like I'm in the witness protection program.
No, this is pretty amazing. I feel like I'm watching SNL or something. Yeah, and it looks like there's so many things that you can do here. There's indoor games, and then of course you can take advantage of the basketball courts or the tennis courts. What I love about this setup, this is a child's dream, a family's dream. Like they go and they swim out, get in the salt water, get a little dirty, sand all over, and then they come in and they jump in the pool and clean off. Everything is right there. It's one-stop shop as for I don't know, how long is this? A week full of memories. Okay.
That's
right.
And you know what? Let's turn, what can be sometimes a distressing and negative kind of view of reality because of the COVID. And let's turn it into, to your point, let's turn it into some quality memories with family and friends, provided you're safe, people in your bubble, yada, yada, yada. I felt like I needed to do that PSA. Wear your mask. All this
yeah. Now, are the Trulies included?
Look, there may be a case of Truly waiting for the winner, but happy to provide that.
All right, or mango White Claw. That's the other one that people seem to like.
Yeah,
all right, Andy. So the bidding, it can't go on forever. I know that. So
right.
We have to cap it off at one point. So how much time do people still have right now?
We're shutting it down at 8:15. 8:15 p.m. So it's coming. So the time is now. The waiting is over.
This is not good. Everybody needs to go right now and start texting away. Get those fingers going. I've seen how fast all of you can text. Okay, you can text with your eyes closed. Okay, so I want you to do it right now. It's going to be S2S to 76278. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go to s2s.givesmart.com as well, and this is the same text message or text address that you'll be using if you want to just do a donation, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So everybody get your final bids in. We also want to let you take a moment just to get your Truly or whatever you're drinking. This is sad. I'm drinking coffee, but
I also want to highlight the Shelters to Shutters koozie. I mean, no self-respecting nonprofit wouldn't have a koozie, at least not one that I'm affiliated with. So, I had a Modelo for the Puerto Vallarta portion of the program. The Truly, I had wine. I'm not finishing all these, so, I'm being a responsible drinker. But, want to make sure that everybody's represented from an alcohol perspective.
Well, great. Well, as you get those final bids in and you go ahead and pour another whatever you're drinking, whether it be coffee or just a nice cold beverage, we do have one more story that we would like to share with you. And this comes to us from Atlanta and our friend Mo from Gables Residential.
That's right.
My name is Moma Sepley. I'm actually originally from West Africa, Liberia. And I grew up on a refugee camp in the bordering country, which is Guinea. And then, luckily for me, my family was chosen as one of the people to get resettled to the United States. And then the program lasted for like almost a year, but it seemed like it was forever because it's like so stressful. I actually came down here with my family, like my mom, my brothers. But over the years, my brother moved up north to Ohio. And then maybe like 2 years back, my mom moved to California. And after that, like everything kind of like fell for me as far as like being on track. And I just felt like nothing was working, whatever I did. I was like working the night shift at McDonald's and also going to school. But prior to that, like that was like my mom left for California and my brother went up north. So I was pretty much stopping with some friends. But eventually that did not work out. So I resorted to like just sleeping in my car, going to work, and then going to school. That was like my whole entire life. The whole night I'm at work, during the day I'm in school, and then like repeat. So it was tough mentally, but at the same time knowing like where I came from, like I grew up on a refugee camp. That's like not having nothing. That's like the bottom of the bottom in my opinion. So like I just wanted opportunity, like this, which is why I told myself like no matter what, I'm not gonna quit school. No matter what, I'm gonna persevere, I'm gonna keep going until like I graduate from school. And then luckily for me, S2S came around. My professor at Atlanta Technical actually told me about it. And I was actually honestly skeptical at first. I was like, this sounds too good to be true. like how you gonna like give me a place to stay, give me a full-time job, and then like also give me a discount at the place where I stay. I was like, this sounds too good to be true. I almost did not take the opportunity. But professor at Atlanta Tech, Sheba Steps, she kind of just like pushed me towards doing it. She was like, Mo, based on what you're going through, I think this will be perfect for you. And I went to the hiring event, and actually it was like 2 different companies that were interested in me based on the interview. I actually ended up going with Gables because my situation was urgent. I was sleeping in the car at that time and going to school. So I needed an apartment really bad. I didn't know how much I needed it till I actually got it, because it honestly helped change my life like on so many levels, even just like being financially responsible or just taking care of what needs to be taken care of. I feel like without shelter, I would have never gotten that opportunity. I mean, I knew like within myself, I knew I had the potential like to want better, to be better. But it was just like I never had the opportunity until this came around, and I'm just glad that I took it, and I'm glad for such a organization to exist where they just help people out that need help, because sometimes that's all somebody need, a helping hand, and like the rest is up to them to like make whatever out of it.
All right, can we talk about Mo? Can we talk about that $1 million smile? You heard it right from him. Just how much this has meant to him, how much it's changed his life. But it is startling when you hear from someone like this that's been impacted so greatly by a program like this that they didn't even know. He didn't even know. You heard him say he didn't even know that S2S existed. I admit I didn't know that a program like this existed. It's totally different than how I thought organizations that were addressing the issue of situational homelessness or homelessness at all were going at it. So it's pretty incredible. And the important part of this is that we need more people like Mo to know about the important work that S2S is doing. And just to share some numbers with you, some remarkable numbers here. Take a look at your screen if you can. 93% of individuals S2S works with do not re-enter homelessness services. They don't re-enter. The average, that's almost 100%, 93%, that's impressive. The average starting wage for an individual with S2S, $15.50. Now that's versus the federal minimum wage of $7.25, so more than double that. Everyone that S2S moves out of homelessness saves the local community approximately $36,000 in expenses. That all adds up. That all adds up, and it's a lot. This year, we're seeing millions of Americans, as you know, you see the headlines every day just as much as I do, but struggling with job loss and struggling trying to figure out what their next move is, how they're going to get food on the table, how they're not going to be kicked out of their house that they're living with, in many cases with their children. But tonight, that's where you come in. You really have the opportunity to be part of this solution. Every little bit helps too. And so I want to encourage you, maybe you didn't win what you placed a bid on. Maybe you didn't see anything in there that you liked, but that's okay because you can still make a donation. That number we mentioned by texting S2S, and I believe it's on your screen right there, to 76278. All you have to do if you've already registered is text the word GIVE, G-I-V, with your donation. So put the amount and text that to 76278. And then, of course, if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can go to s2s.givesmart.com and you can make your contribution that way. No donation is too big, of course, but no donation is too small. Before I walked up to start this live stream, my 9-year-old daughter asked me what I was doing tonight, and I explained to her the truncated version about S2S, and she came over. I should have brought him in. She gave me a bunch of $1 bills that added up to $20 that she wanted me to donate, and I told her that we'd figure it out later because I can't really just give it to the screen, but can't register with her, but that's the thing is like the fact that she wanted to give her $20 after learning about the important work that Shelters to Shutters is doing. I mean, that just touched my heart, and hopefully it touches your heart, and just be hearing these stories like Mo and Randy's and Kira's, you feel compelled to give just a little bit as well. Along those lines, I just want to let you know, we talked a little bit with Chris Finley earlier about growth. I think it is absolutely phenomenal that there's a trajectory here during a time like this, during time like COVID. The goal right now, eyes are set on adding even more staff to meet the need in Atlanta, in Charlotte, in Houston, Nashville, and also right here in DC. And I know you can see me and I can see some of you too. We've got some competitive city advisory board members that are lingering out there here on the live stream. And we know how you can be. So as far as being, competitive city to city, right? Houston, Nashville, DC, Charlotte, Atlanta, where are you at? This is your time, to show your support. And so if we can get a little friendly competition going with the donations, texting GIVE with your donation, the amount to 76278, that would be awesome. And just to let you know, it says here that about the donations, you can actually tell us a little bit more about, Andy, where these donations exactly are going, because a lot of times people, they just give and they say I donated, but they don't really see the breakdown and they don't know where those dollars, are being given out. So if you could just tell us a little bit more about that, that'd be great. And also maybe how the pandemic has played a role in some of this.
Sure. And first of all, your daughter is so sweet. And so I think that's a testament to you and your husband. So well done. That touched me. I don't think my daughters have said that. In any event, so we operate in 12 cities today. We have 5 primary cities, and really those are the cities that have city advisory boards. Again, those being Atlanta, Charlotte, Houston, Nashville, and the DC area. So all the money raised from the CAB members and supporters of CAB members from those specific cities, that can be designated to those cities. And so the money raised from Nashville is going to stay in Nashville. And it's really, as you mentioned, is going to go toward more resources, because we really haven't gone into the process on how S2S finds and vets appropriate candidates, but there's a lot of work on the front end, the intake, and then we provide case management support as a way to help ensure the success of our participants. And again, going to that 93%, we'd love to be at 100%, but that goes to the fact that we have case management to try to help ensure that those individuals are successful. And so it's really about putting additional resources in all the cities where we operate, specifically in the 5 CAB cities. And as you mentioned, the coronavirus is sending us a wave of referrals, individuals that were living paycheck to paycheck, unfortunately, and because of the coronavirus, that has thrown them for a loop, and they now find themselves in a place they never thought they'd be, and that's without a home. And so we need these resources to be able to screen and get them out to our industry partners. And so we really think we have an opportunity here to make much more of a material impact on those experiencing homelessness. And so that's exactly where that money is going to go to, resources for the specific cities that donate those dollars.
Mm-hmm. And these are big cities with big needs. And I know that we actually have a way, we've been tracking some of the donations. It's hard for me to see here. I see Lisa. Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, it goes by quick.
I know. Wow. Look, all the names popping up. We have Lee and Sunny Burrows, Joy, Samu, Josh Chapman, Waltz Coscott, and Shelly Chapman. I can't even keep up. I can't read this fast. John Hanson, Rasha, Robin, Danton, Richard, Gregory, Patrick, Joseph, Mr. Anonymous, Eric, Janet, Elizabeth, Michael, Pam, Jeff, Eileen. Oh, Eileen, that's one of my friends. Richard, Bernard, and Lisa. Thank you so much for giving. This really means a ton. And as you heard, your generous donation is going to be helping so many people. And the fact that, one, you're here on a Friday night, we all know that the Borat 2 movie came out. So, I'm sure a lot of you could be home watching Borat. But you know what? You're here and you're hanging out with us and drinking Trulies and whatnot. And, listening to other people's stories that are indeed their life story. I think so many of us, take for granted just everyday things, even when the going gets tough, especially during a pandemic. But then you realize there's always someone who is more unfortunate than you. And it's just because of circumstance. It's nothing,
Absolutely.
More than that. And I think that, as the donations keep coming, 29,000, I love seeing that go. I want to keep it going. The red is more than past the halfway mark. How do we do this? I feel like I'm playing a video game.
Look, the great thing about our program is this is a hand up, right? This isn't a hand out. These are individuals like Mo or Kira or Eugene that just needed another opportunity. And, their life threw them a bit of a curve. Randy was a great example of that. He was, their stories are all so different, but at the end of the day, they always kind of come back to the same thing. They kind of put their trust in other people, and other people didn't come through. And so now it's our opportunity to come through for them, and those are just a couple of the stories that we have. And one of the great things about this job is seeing and understanding and talking to these individuals about their stories, because these are proud people and they're thrilled to get back on their feet. And so having partners like Court and IRT Management, that's what really makes this program go, as well as the individuals, obviously. And so
oftentimes when we talk about homelessness and addressing the issue, we talk about breaking a cycle, but I really like to look at it as creating a new cycle, a cycle to pass it on. I look at some of these people, just, you can hear it. You can hear the hope in their voice. You can hear the gratitude, and that the moment that they can give back and they can pass it on. And that's the kind of cycle we want to create. I love seeing this, by the way. We're at 64% right now, more than $32,000 just by the power of your text messages. It's amazing. S2S or you can text give to 76278. And thank you, Stuart, Paul, Lee, Polly, Giovanni, Noah. The number is going up. Anne and John, Henry, all of you are making such a big difference. When you look at the number, I think that they say on any given night, 550,000 Americans are without a home. That 1 in 5, I thought, and I think that number very well could be more than that, but 1 in 5 don't have a savings set aside to cover an unexpected financial challenge. I know a lot of people that I've talked to don't. It's more than 1 in 5 if I was going to sample my own friends and some family members. So it's a really scary thing. We mentioned it before. A lot of these homes and a lot of us are just, one big moment away from not having a place to be or a place to stay and having to ask for that help. So
absolutely, the numbers are actually staggering. And look, since 2007, we've made a pretty big positive improvement in the number of individuals that are experiencing homelessness. And they believe that because of the coronavirus, all those gains for the last 13 years are going to be wiped out. And so basically we're going to be like we're back in 2007. And that's really frightening. And the numbers are staggering. So 55% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But when you break that down, you have about 1 in 5, which you referenced, live paycheck to paycheck, but they accrue incremental debt every month just to keep their head above water. Wow. And then you have 36% that live paycheck to paycheck, but they're basically, it's a push, right? They're not accruing any incremental debt. But that means that everything has to go just right for them to keep their head above water. And that's scary. It's really
that is scary. And as we've seen, with things that are changing by the day, I think people are more scared than ever. But the good thing is that there are organizations like Shelters to Shutters that are in place to help. And there are so many giving people, as we've seen right before our eyes. Absolutely. Here.
It's amazing.
Noha and Anne and Richard and Don.
Sister.
Oh yeah, give them a shout out. We want to get that number rising, and because as we continue to be inspired by just the perseverance, the resilience, and the stories that are not just optimistic. I mean, they are painful at one point, and they really show just the journey that a lot of people have gone through, and the fact that there are so many other people out there that don't know that there is available help. I mean, you are really, by donating tonight, you're making a promise, to help somebody else, make our community better. It all comes back to us. And so I just want to say thanks to everybody who decided to spend their night with us this evening and also decided to take it a step further and give.
Absolutely. We're kind of past our time. And so, Angie, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, we are.
You're amazing. I'm embarrassed I ran out on you. It's something that's going to scar me for the rest of my life. But I want to thank you for an amazing job. I want to thank our cab members in the 5 cities, all our supporters, our sponsors, and then everybody watching at home. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your generosity, and we look forward to great things to come. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.